So, Build Back Better is dead. Yeah, I mean, I think it's been an open secret for a while now, but now it's essentially confirmed. But, yeah, Joe Manchin just came out against the bill, and that essentially means it's dead in the water. And, yeah, this is an epic failure on the part of the Democratic Party, an epic failure on the part of, sorry for a second, epic failure on the part of leadership, and also an epic failure on the part of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. Well, the Progressive Caucus. See, this is why I don't really use the term progressive too much anymore. It's been co-opted by the establishment, and these people, like, half of them at the very least, but no, I take that back. At this point, all but 6 of them are not even progressive, and 6 is being generous, let's be honest. Like, Pramila Jayapal, she is the leader of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. It's like, initially they had the agreement, like, the moderate and the progressives, Democrats, they had the agreement that they were going to pass both the bipartisan infrastructure bill and the reconciliation Build Back Better bill. They were going to pass them in tandem. But then Pramila Jayapal got word from the ghouls of the corporate Democrats like Joe Biden and Joe Manchin and those people that nobody likes, unless you're filthy rich and unless you're an establishment Democrat. But she got their word that they would vote on Build Back Better, and she took it. She took it, and what do you know? They lied. Of course they do. They're politicians. Of course they lie. Like, there's no way she's that naive. And she really just revealed herself, Pramila Jayapal did, as not an ally of the left. She is an enemy of the left, and I don't think that we, as the left, should continue to be supporting her if this is how she's going to do it. Because, like, she's the leader. She knows better. She is not stupid. She knew that they were lying to her. And so, yeah. And, you know, people are like, okay, well, Manchin was never going to vote for the bill, so you have to, okay, well, first of all, how do you know that? Like, it's not like Biden did much calling him out by name. Now, you could say, okay, well, Biden's not very popular in West Virginia, okay, but the initial provisions of the Build Back Better bill were very popular in West Virginia, so, and then they gutted it into oblivion, because it was Joe Manchin who decided, no, I don't want this in the bill, and so they just took that instead of actually, like, you know, doing rallies in West Virginia, running ads in West Virginia. And, you know, to Bernie Sanders' credit, he did do an op-ed in a West Virginia newspaper, but I think that was about as far as anybody went, unless I'm missing something. You know, maybe nothing was going to change Manchin's mind, but at the very least, you make him public enemy number 1, so all eyes are on him. And, you know, at this point, Biden's presidency it's just over. Like, it really is. I mean, if this is how he's gonna let Manchin boss him around, like, if he's not gonna whip him and do everything in his power to whip him into line, then he needs to go all out with the executive orders. He needs to cancel student debt, which, yes, he can do. He needs to do emergency Medicare for all throughout the rest of the COVID pandemic, which, again, he can do. He needs to legalize marijuana, which I'm still iffy on the details of, but I think he can at least deschedule it to a lower schedule, so it essentially decriminalizes it. Can pardon people like Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, Daniel Hale, Stephen Donziger, and there's even like a provision where he could lower prescription drug costs, which, like, they said, oh, in Build Back Better, we're gonna compromise here, and we're gonna say we're gonna lower the prices of 10 drugs out of I don't know how many. Nobody knows. I mean, it's countless numbers of drugs by 2025. At which point Biden, I mean, let's be honest, at this rate, he's probably going to be out of office. Because, like, do we really believe... Okay, nobody believes he's going to run for re-election, but he says he's going to. I mean, I doubt it, but let's just say he does. At this point, he's not going to win. Emphasis on at this point. Obviously, a lot can change in the next 3 years, but I highly doubt he's going to win. Especially if he's going up against Trump. I mean, because, like, he already beat Trump once, but, I mean, in 2024, I mean, Trump is... He's going to be the favorite because, you know, he hasn't been on social media. They deplatformed him, and since he hasn't been in the public eye, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So people are realizing, yeah, sure, why not? Because, like, they're dissatisfied under Biden. Now, this isn't to say that Trump is better than Biden. They're both terrible. But I would say Biden's marginally better, but it doesn't really matter at this point. So, yeah, Biden just completely folded. Now, I think he did call out Manchin by name, but like, I highly doubt he's going to do enough on this. Like, he proved that he really did not care about this. And, you know, I just completely lost my train of thought. I'm just doing this completely off the cuff. So, and this phone is terrible. I'm probably going to get a new one around Christmas. So, just bear with me. So, like, at this point, I'm clearly rambling. But, so, like, people were like, well, if you shoot down the bipartisan infrastructure bill, then you're not going to get Manchin. You're still not, nothing will get Manchin for Build Back Better. And, you know, maybe you're right, but the bipartisan infrastructure bill, as I explained in another video weeks ago, that's not enough. It is a net climate negative. Like, it net, like, it has hundreds of millions of dollars in fossil fuel subsidies. And that's something that Joe Manchin has been waiting for. And so that's why he's shooting this down, because now that he got those subsidies in the bipartisan infrastructure bill, he doesn't need to support this, and no amount of pressure is going to do that because the Progressive Caucus completely folded. Credit to the 6 members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus who voted against the bipartisan infrastructure bill. AOC, Cori Bush, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib. In fact, I'll put up a tweet from Rashida Tlaib now that it explains the situation perfectly. She's 100% right, so credit to them for voting against it, but shame on Pramila Jayapal for not only voting against it, but failing for voting for, but failing to whip her caucus into line, knowing that something like this was going to happen. Shame on Joe Manchin, obviously, and shame on Joe Biden, too, for not doing nearly enough to put the public pressure on Manchin to do the original Build Back Better, because that was what was popular. And, now he just needs to go all in on executive orders if he wants to have any hope of saving his presidency, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that. So, yeah. That's what I got. That's all I got for this. Thank you all for watching. I know this was kind of all over the place, but, you know, I just got off work, just arrived home. I'm in my car, so this is what you get. All right. Make sure you guys check out some more Kawa's Mind right over here. Otherwise, check out my latest video right over here. Hit subscribe if you like what you see. Like if you like what you see. And I'll see everybody on Friday. I know I keep saying hopefully, but I mean, I think I'm going to make a video on Friday to close out the year, because I'll be taking next week off for the holidays. So, my final video of 2021 should be coming out Friday. At the absolute latest, Saturday. But, well, Saturday's Christmas. Yeah, Friday. Alright. I'll see everybody then.